oh, there's a new post and they're engaging with it. And then that's really just going to boost that traction. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for like when should I be doing it? Right in proximity to before or
What
after
you're
you
posting.
post or both.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really curious because I've done some research on my own with different things. I'm on, several platforms, as you know. But in your opinion, how has TikTok in particular really kind of changed the social media scene?
Yeah. I mean, social media has changed a lot since we've gotten TikTok because they have shown, like, first of all, how to do short form.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, what can happen with your algorithm being so catered and custom to you, and just no other
Yes.
platform has been able to do that. And they've also broken the boundaries from being a stereotypical kind of like posed, aesthetic, filtered to really like raw, unfiltered. And so many different types of creators can grow on TikTok, whereas some other platforms, you can do it if you really put your mind to it, but it's like TikTok, the barrier to entry is just like anyone can do it. So with TikTok, they've changed the game a lot in the sense of like frequency for posting, how often to post, and even how to position your brand. I mean, TikTok, I'm sure everybody's seen you have to post a crazy amount. And do you have to? Again, no, but the more you post on TikTok, they actually just release their point system. So if you go look that up on the platform, that you can read all about it. But the more you post, the more likely that you're going to grow. And
Interesting.
that's something that people, maybe creators, it's easier because you're an individual, but businesses are just not prepared for that, for the
Yeah.
amount of like time and resources, the money that goes into churning out that much content. So they've really changed the game in terms of like quantity. And also, like I said, just how you position your brand, because I think brands and creators are now seeing like, I don't have to show up as the most polished version of myself all the
Yeah.
time. And actually showing up more authentically works. And now we're seeing this rise in micro influencers, smaller creators, normal people, and people are wanting more of that. And I really don't think that would have happened without TikTok, because people talk all the time about how they're intimidated by Instagram because it is so polished and
Yeah.
aesthetic. And now you're starting to see those types of creators even growing on Instagram. So yeah, I think TikTok is just really influential overall
Yeah.
amongst all of the platforms.
Listen, I'm a huge fan. Like I enjoy TikTok. I'm like just personally anyway, but
Yeah.
I think you really hit the nail on the head where like the algorithm has really changed. And I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like Facebook and Instagram and some of these other platforms are kind of, not copying, but influenced, like you said, by the way that TikTok is running. Because as people know, on TikTok, if you're in a business mood and you're thinking about business stuff and you're watching, short little, business clips, and then that's what you're going to get more of. But if you're in
Yeah.
music, you want to do music stuff, and you're going to get more of that. And I feel like that. I mean that can change day to day, right?
Yeah. I mean, it can be instantaneous. Like if you interact with two or three things you look up on cooking, then your whole algorithm turns into cooking. It's just like
Yes.
crazy. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, Facebook has Reels now, YouTube has YouTube Shorts, Instagram has Instagram Reels. And none of that would have happened if TikTok didn't start
Yeah.
paving the way for that.
Yeah. So I love that. Well, I want to switch gears here a little bit because we've talked about like the different platforms and things,
Yeah.
but you've mentioned that you kind of got in the social media world, you've got kind of a large amount of experience in a variety of different roles. So, like, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from, kind of like some freelancing, some corporate, and some of your own stuff too, right? So, like, what are some of the big lessons that you've learned, and how has that shaped your strategy overall?
Yeah. So from doing freelancing, I think you learn a lot about how to count on yourself, because
Yeah,
you don't have, I mean, anybody that's started a business, you're most of the time you're on your own. So like how you don't have somebody telling you to do things. You don't have somebody yelling at you. Like you have to be able to do that. But that also means that you have to know your worth. And I've also learned a lot of that as well. When I started doing freelancing, I would charge like $300 for like full social media management, like all
Mm.
four platforms, marketing, everything, which is just insane. So I really, really learned that. And I can take that now into like 9 to 5 jobs as well. If I'm negotiating salary or something, it's like I know my worth. I'm not afraid to ask for that.
Yeah.
Agency life, time management. I mean, if you work for an agency, you know that crazy and it is
Mhm.
always busy, it's always packed, and there's not really a lot of boundaries with agency life. So
Yep.
I think that's where I started, and I think that really, really helped me in my career now because I'm like, I have that time management skill when it comes to social media and just all the amount of time that even goes into the smallest things and how to break up like if you have multiple different clients you're working with, like how do you break that up? So yeah, I'd say time management. And then in the corporate world, um, I think I've learned a lot about how to foster healthy and professional, positive partnerships.
Yeah.
Um, I've learned how to, speak the corporate jargon. I've learned a lot of business skills, but also like what what goes into even having a partnership, and I don't think that we learn that a lot, and I think that's why maybe when I first started or a lot of people first start, it's kind of sticky. I mean, you can get yourself into situations with people that just don't respect you, don't respect your work, and you don't really know what to do because if you're mean or assertive, then you that could hurt your business. So I
Mhm.
think really learning how to like foster a partnership like that and even communicate whenever something is not going the way that you want in a way that is still friendly. And also being able to communicate your expertise to people who don't understand what you do and teach them
Yes.
without making them feel stupid.